Wow, that's mode 1. Hello, welcome to the Megan Gailey Bubble Machine. I'm Megan Gailey, and we're going to talk about everything I love within the sports world that's making me happy, and sometimes people being angry makes me really happy. Baseball, still a fucking disaster. Hockey, doing great. I mean, a 6-hour game this week. Congrats to hockey. Have I watched 1 second of it? No. The NBA bubble, still thriving. 0 cases. When you look at the landscape of what's happening elsewhere, such great work to LeBron, Chris Paul, Adam Silver, I'm sure lots of other people. I don't know why I need to give them. I'm giving LeBron kudos from my backyard, like he gives a fuck. But I just want you to know, LeBron, in case you're watching, great job. The Suns are doing amazing. Truly, it's so fun to watch. They're young, they're cool. Yesterday, they had their families announce the starting lineup. I loved it so much. Like kids, their wives. Devin Booker had like a friend he's worked with on a charity in the past. It was really, really beautiful. There's a Spanish man, and he had 10 different Spanish family members. It was like a little Spanish child. You know, the Suns see that, they're like, you're Spanish, we forgot. Like, he's hella Spanish. I love it. And I'm happy for Rudy Gobert. She's having fun. I think he feels bad, and I think he has learned his lesson, and when there is a global pandemic again, he will not make the same mistakes twice. Cute things. Well, this is not so cute, but probably the biggest sports story right now is that the Pac-12 and the Big Ten have canceled all sports, including football, for the fall semester. I think this is the right decision. Obviously very hard to come to this financially, liability, the NCAA is evil, all of that stuff. But this is correct. Now the SEC has still not, they said they're playing. And I don't think that's going to happen, but I understand as SEC officials, they have to pretend that it's going to happen so all of their houses are not burned down. So I guess I would just like to take this opportunity to maybe suggest some things that SEC football fans could do instead of freaking out. There are other things to watch. They've already sworn up the NBA because they're kneeling. So you can't watch that. Maybe RuPaul's Drag Race. It's so fun. Expand your horizons. Maybe you could find your wife's clit. I bet she would love that. And I'm sure she's hurting from there not being football too. Maybe a little G-spot scavenger hunt. Even not a scavenger hunt. You could open a book and find it and then ask her. We'll put that right at the top of the list of stuff you could do. You could garden. You could wear a mask. You could cook. You could clean. You could play with your kid. No, you're probably tired of playing with your kids. You go out on your boat. I'm sure you have a boat. If you like SEC football, you have a boat. Is it a nice boat? I don't know. It could be just like a little fishing boat, but you have a boat. Go out on your boat. Maybe get high. I will mail you weed. Oh, that's illegal. Shit. I've never done that before. You could support the post office. You could canvas. Oh my gosh, that'd be great. You could write letters. You could be a poll worker. Oh, you could learn the correct form of your. This is an impeccable time for you to learn that difference. You could build a fence. I feel like don't men really like to build fences? You could really sit with wet ass pussy, WAP, and understand it. Maybe not be so quick to judge it. Maybe you take a week and you watch it every single day, and then like those TikTok videos, and then at the end of the week you see like if you're more accepting of it. I think that'd be a nice. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot. Go back and watch Ken Burns. All the Ken Burns. That could take up every Saturday. So, roll tide, expand. Watch football. There's so much good. You can watch Last Chance U. This season of Last Chance U is so good. They're in Oakland. It's a new team, new coach. The coach seems like an actual human being. Maybe less entertaining coach-wise. He's not flipping out, but he's so cool. He walks with a giant stick. Huge. He goes on walks with his wife in his neighborhood. They wave to everybody, and he has the biggest stick I've ever seen. Badass. And he's got kind of like a scraggly mustache. I love Coach Bean. And the show is it's football pre-COVID. And so you like take yourself out of this, like for a second you're like, oh no, they shouldn't be that close, but then you're like, oh, this is before this. It's like when I went to see Paddington 2 and I was like, what is happening? And CJ was like, it's a bear and he talks, and that is the world. And once I accepted that world, I was so happy. So just accept the Last Chance U world pre-COVID in Oakland. I just watched the first episode of the new Hard Knocks, and I was really pleasantly surprised. Like, I love Hard Knocks. I think it's one of the best shows on TV, and I really, the rate that they were able to turn it around. And when it was announced that it was the Rams and the Chargers, I was just like, I don't need to be with Jared Goff anymore. He likes Taylor Swift, and he doesn't know where the sun sets. I feel like we've gotten all we can out of him. But the first episode, minimal Goff, maximum Anthony Lynn, the Chargers coach, and I love him. I loved him before. I think Hard Knocks is only going to make me love him more. He had COVID. He's like been through this. Every time he's like so pro masks. Players seem to really like him. His wife seems cool. He's just badass. I mean, the Chargers didn't mention Phillip Rivers once, which really made me laugh. And then it made me laugh less when I remember that he is the Colts quarterback now. Non-sporty suggestions, but they feel sporty, selling Sunset. They sell those houses to athletes. When you see Sean McVay's house, you're like, oh, he bought that from Kershell for sure. He's in the Valley, and that pool, that's a Kershell house. Real Housewives of Potomac just came back, the sportiest of all the housewives. Juan Dixon, okay, a legend, love him. #1 housewives husband crush. And then we've got Chris Samuels, a former Washington football team legend. His wife Monique has a bird. It's lost right now. You could help her find it. And now I'm back to the suggestions for SEC football fans. Help find Monique's bird. I have a lot of friends that do not like sports, and so sometimes they ask me really insightful, interesting questions that come from an outsider's viewpoint in. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to answer some of those questions. So this segment, maybe the only actual segment on the show, is called Sports Questions from My Non-Sports Friends. Is that what it's called? No. Sports Questions from My Friends That Don't Like Sports. Sports Questions from My Friends That Don't Like Sports. And today's question comes from a dear friend, Lauren, in Los Angeles. And her question is, this is going to be an act out of when she asked me the question. Her question is, wait, is LeBron on the Cavs anymore? No. Lauren from Los Angeles. He is not on the Cavs anymore. He is on the Los Angeles Lakers. And this is his second season there, and he's doing quite well. This question was interesting to me because Lauren lives in Los Angeles, and her husband is from Cleveland, and I've seen him cry over multiple Cleveland sports things. So, you learn something new every day. Lauren, I hope that helps you. Now you can go forward with that information. Maybe even get a LeBron Lakers jersey. Oh, now it's just uh-oh. There we go. Now, come on, there's still bubble juice in there. Uh-oh.